BHP Group on the Australian Stock Exchange, ASX. Is this a stock you should buy, or should you run for the hills and you may be not seen again like the hills have I, as you go into the mining towns of Australia and get lost and never to be seen again as you search for gold, you search for coal, you search for every mineral under the sun. You're looking for the gems that'll make you rich. Is BHP the stock for you? Come check it out here at Barry Chow. Wow, it started off BHP as a under $5 stock back in the 90s, and now it's gone up to $45. So you would say it's a pretty slow rising stock compared to some overseas, like especially in America, but it has been a solid stock for a long time. And this mining company / petroleum and everything else in between has been a stock that has been good, been the number one stock in Australia for a very long time. In this video we'll check out a little bit of the history around BHP and what they do as a big mining company, and then we'll look at the financials and see if this is a worthy stock to maybe look at investing in. If you like this video, go subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. Let's get to the mining. No, we're not talking about Bitcoin mining. We're talking about BHP Group. The Broken Hill Proprietary Company was founded in 1885 in Silverton, New South Wales. Over the years it had merged with companies, had people from overseas buy into the company. They had a PHP in 2001. They merged with Billiton Mining. One of the big things in 2005, a US $7.3 million or billion dollar agreement to take over WMC Resources, the owner of the Olympic Dam, copper, gold and uranium mine in South Australia, as well as nickel operations in Queensland and Western Australia. A couple years later they brought Rio Tinto in an all shares deal, so they just sold them a whole lot of shares into the company to take over Rio Tinto. But unfortunately that deal fell through due to the global recession, which did hinder a bit of the growth of the company. But a few years later in 2011 they were able to buy off Chesapeake Energy for $4.7 billion cash. Ka-ching! Which gave them 2,000 kilometers squared, or around 500,000 acres of land, which they richly needed to continue their mining regime. So that's a little bit of the history and a little bit of what they have acquired so far, and there's obviously plenty more they've done, but this is just a little overview. Now let's have a look at what the future holds for BHP. In a statement, they believe they are focusing their resources on what the world needs to develop and decarbonize copper for renewable energy, nickel, electric vehicle, potash for sustainable farming, iron ore and coal for steel for global infrastructure and energy transition. During 2020, the company had a heavy focus on buying into energy, with the investment going into the 500 billion range. Woohoo! This ain't no little company. Let's have a look at the key components of this company. One is obviously copper, which is used in electricity and used in everyday household products. Iron ore is one of the most sought after commodities around, and it's integral in the steel making business. Nickel is also around, and it's a key ingredient in stainless steel and a major component in the lithium ion batteries, which we know worldwide is absolutely needed, and there is a big shortage out there. Coal obviously is needed in a lot of places, especially in the steel making industry. And potash, which is a group of potassium compounds that will be a vital link in the global food supply chain. So what is BHP? Well, basically it's a super big mining company, and the biggest in the world. If you didn't know that, it's the biggest in the world. Big business. But why hasn't the stock price skyrocketed? Well, it's because of growth. Where is the growth? They have had a kilometer on what they've got currently, but can they find new places to buy and expand the business? That is where BHP needs to look at. can they invest more into acquiring new places all around the world? So PHB, let's do a stock analysis on the stock we'll use there at home. Well, first the market cap. This is no joke of a stock. Currently around $225 billion. This is no joke of a stock. PE ratio solid of around 10 or just under 10. So it's a very solid company, but where is the growth coming from? Long-term big growth. That is where the investors are not investing in this company right now. A dividend yield of 10%. Now this is where people buy the stock, is for a dividend. Just like Royal Dutch Shell or the BP, these big dividend paying companies, this is where the stock has some people involved because of that 10%. Theoretically, in 10 years time, you've made your money back, and that's what people like. But remember folks, a dividend is not guaranteed and will not always stay in a company. If they start to lose money, the dividend will be the first thing that gets cut. So that's something you have to think about. Let's quickly look at the financials of this company. The revenue of $15.42 billion in 2011, up 27% on the year before. Wow. Now, there must be some growth in this company to be 27%. Why are we not seeing that in the stock price? This is where you got to keep doing your research and do more and more in-depth research, and you learn more about these companies. What about net income? $4.72 billion? Over 100% net profit improvement on the year before. Well, obviously, this is a bit skewed because we've had the issues with the Rona. So that's just something you have to think about when you're investing into stocks. Why has it skyrocketed? And obviously, because there's been a big increase and people overseas wanting these incredible minerals that are needed for building big infrastructures all around the world. Just look at Tesla. They need a whole lot of steel. That's just one company. Boom. Well, if we look at cash flow, they've got $13 billion available. Woohoo! Nothing to snick about that. They've got plenty of money. They ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Well, what should we do with the stock price here with BHP? Is it worth buying at the moment? Was it a high of about nearly $54 in April? Was there possibly a buying opportunity at about $42 a couple of months ago? But it's now starting to jump again to about $46. So what should you do? Is this a stock that you maybe should look to invest into? Well, minerals are definitely not going away. I can tell you that much. Minerals are always going to be around. Mining, I mean, all this stuff is going to be around. Needed for households. Copper is always big. Nickel, this company's definitely not going away. But for an investor, most people would invest into the stock currently for the dividend. So for the older investor out there, the people that like dividend investing, it is a good stock for dividend investing because I don't think it's going to be disappearing anytime soon. But if you're looking for growth, say to gain $100, I think you're probably dreaming. Although it has been a pretty good year for them, but you have to remember that there was always going to be a big jump up in a lot of stocks in terms of what they made for the year because of the Rona the last couple of years. But to me, it's a stock I would wait and try and buy it under 40 if you can get under 40, and just keep it. Just put a big 10k in there or whatever. If you're bigger, 100k. If you're less, you got to put 1k in there and just let it grow. Collect the dividend. 10 years time, you doubled your money. No problem. It's just a way to get some cash flow. Just like a house, if you're renting out a house. So PHB mining stock. So that's just a little bit about mining stocks and the PHP group. I hope you got a bit of information around the stock. To me, I just don't see it as a buy for me at the moment. But it's definitely worth considering. If it did get a big drop, if some bad news around the company and goes under $40, then I would seriously look at buying. But for me, it's a no for now. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button so you can get plenty more videos just like this. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all at the next video. Cheerio.